Hello, everyone, and welcome to this first 2025 edition of Parlons Projet. Today, we explore a powerful question. Can you truly lead without a formal title? Leadership today is about influence, trust, and impact rather than authority. To help us dive into this topic, we have two exceptional speakers who have mastering leadership beyond titles. Alors ce soir, nous avons la chance d'avoir deux célébrités. Pour moi, c'est deux internationaux. OK. Euh, une qui est tout près de nous, OK, qui est valablement représentée par son maillot. OK, ça dit d'où elle vient. Yvonne, en fait, c'est la récipiendaire du PMI Leadership Chapter Impact Award. C'est la seule africaine qui détient cela. Donc, c'est la preuve concrète, en fait, qu'elle a la casquette d'un leader incarné, servant leadership inclusif, adaptatif. Eh bien, nous avons la chance de la voir. Je ne sais pas comment elle a pu trouver du temps pour être là, parce qu'en ce moment, elle est très sollicitée par toute la communauté du PMI pour pouvoir partager, en fait, sa riche expérience dans cette organisation. On a la chance aussi d'avoir Billy. Billy, c'est le regional mentor qui couvre en fait la zone Afrique de l'Est et du Sud au niveau du PMI. Il a plusieurs casquettes d'ailleurs. Je pense qu'il sera le seul maître à pouvoir présenter tout à l'heure ces différents profils. C'est un TED speaker. Yes, you have the chance to have a TED speaker today. Yeah. Hello, Billy. Thank you to be there. OK. Eh bien, c'est pas moi qui aurais le privilège de pouvoir les faire parler. Nous avons Alexis, un exceptionnel leader. Alexis, les mots, en fait, pour pouvoir décrire, elle m'a tout de suite, en fait, impacté par son charisme, par son ossature, par sa posture. Quand elle est entrée dans le programme PMP au niveau de expertise, eh bien, depuis, je ne veux plus la lâcher. OK? Même pas la force, en fait, elle doit briller et puis elle doit montrer aux yeux du monde également ce qu'elle peut contribuer, ce qu'elle peut apporter. Donc, ce soir, c'est Alexis qui a le privilège de pouvoir faire parler Billy. Donc, moi, je vais descendre. On va monter, voilà, on fait monter Yvonne et Billy. Hello, Alexis. Thank you.
Hi,
Thank you to be there. Yeah. Tu sais, c'est toi qui as le privilège. I will leave you the floor. Thank you to be there. Thank you for all.
thank you very much, Isidore. Hi, everyone. Hello, Yvonne. Hi, Billy. How are you doing? I can see you
Hi,
smiling.
Alexi.
I'm sure we're going to have a wonderful time. Thank you, guys. I know you all are very busy. Like Isidore said, let's have a moment to connect and to learn from two very, very exceptional leaders. And to our online community, hi everyone, welcome on board. So today we are going to explore a very important topic, which is leading without a title. In a world where everybody is craving and very, very enthusiastic and is dying to have titles, we have the very distinct honor to have with us here two exceptional people who have been able to accomplish exceptional things without having a formal title. And it is said that leadership is inspiration, is example, is preaching, it's like Jesus Christ without a title. So let's dive deep into it. Billy, welcome. Please introduce yourself to our online community.
Thank you so much, Alexi. I'm very excited to be here. And I'm conflicted. I don't even know how to introduce myself with titles, talking about the topic leading without a title. So that is counterintuitive. I will try by all means to avoid any titles in my introduction. So my name is Billy Samuel Mwape. I'm an avid follower of leadership. I help organizations align strategic goals to the projects that actually enable drive results. I'm also enthusiastic about enabling people to become the best versions of themselves so they become leaders, because I believe leadership is at every level in every organization. It doesn't matter. And I believe that leadership is definitely by disposition and not position. So I will position myself as a project management profession, and maybe we can talk about the titles later towards the end of the conversation. Thanks.
Ok, thank you, Bully. Thank you so much. And we have notre lion très, très indomptable qui porte les couleurs de tout un continent. Yvonne, merci beaucoup d'être là. Prière de t'introduire, s'il te plaît, à notre online community. Hi, Yvonne, we can't hear you. On ne t'entend pas.
Alors, allô, c'est bon maintenant?
Oui, oui, c'est bon.
OK. Merci de me passer la parole. Merci à toute l'équipe de Parlons Projet pour cette opportunité qui nous réunit, Billy et moi, pour parler de notre expérience de leadership. Aujourd'hui, c'est sans titre. J'espère que on trouvera les mots pour décrire un peu comment ça se passe. Je suis spécialiste de la PME et une généraliste de la banque. Depuis 25 ans, j'accompagne les entreprises locales et divers acteurs économiques dans la croissance de leurs activités à travers le conseil et le financement. Actuellement, je travaille dans une entreprise de la place où j'assure l'intérim du directeur des engagements, des risques et des crédits. C'est une lourde responsabilité parce que je donne des avis indépendants sur oui ou non, est-ce qu'on peut engager l'entreprise dans un projet. Je pilote également des projets dans divers secteurs. Le plus récent sur lequel je travaille depuis à peu près, on va dire quoi, 15 mois, concerne la mise sur pied d'un nouveau service financier en direction de l'entrepreneuriat féminin. C'est un projet qui rentre dans le cadre de l'Affirmative Finance Action for Women in Africa, en abrégé AFAWA, qui est chapeauté par la Banque africaine de développement. En dehors de ma vie professionnelle, je suis volontaire dans plusieurs associations et plus au sein du PMI, où j'ai assuré les rôles de sponsorship manager en 2019 et j'ai rejoint le board en 2020 comme VP volunteering, un peu comme une sorte de RH. Voilà un peu résumé qui est Yvonne Kagou, sans titre.
Je sais, parce que si on doit dérouler tous les titres ici, j'ai l'impression qu'on ne va pas terminer. Donc, on va essayer de rester sans titre. Donc, Yvonne, je vais rester avec toi. Aujourd'hui, nous parlons de comment être un leader sans avoir forcément un titre formel. Tu peux nous dire, s'il te plaît, selon toi, qu'est-ce que c'est que le leadership sans titre? Ça veut dire quoi, concrètement?
Concrètement, je vais m'appuyer sur un exemple. J'utilise beaucoup des exemples pour illustrer mes propos. Comme je disais tantôt, je suis volontaire dans plusieurs associations, dont l'association de mon quartier. En 2020 et 2021, on a dû mener en urgence un projet pour sauver les habitations. Il y avait des ravins qui s'étaient créés à la suite de l'érosion et du manque de canalisation. Les spécialistes du BTP comprennent mieux ce que je veux dire. On a constitué une équipe dans laquelle je faisais partie pour réfléchir à la façon de juguler la situation. Nous avons réussi à mobiliser des ressources financières et humaines pour emblayer les ravins et sauver pas moins de 50 habitations qui étaient menacées de glissement à la longue. Donc, pour parler un peu de mon rôle au sein de cette équipe, je collectais les fonds auprès des riverains en faisant quasiment du porte-à-porte, en fédérant ceux qui n'étaient pas forcément concernés par le projet, mais aussi en approchant des entreprises qui ont agi dans le cadre de ce projet en s'appuyant sur leur politique RSE. Donc, la gestion des fonds se menait de manière transparente au terme du projet. On a pu consolider notre communauté et la dite communauté, normalement, après un certain temps, on doit quitter le bureau exécutif, mais je vous assure qu'aujourd'hui, personne ne veut prendre le relais. Et à côté de ça, les autorités publiques ont enregistré la réalisation de ce projet dans leurs actifs. Donc, c'est une communauté que je peux dire pilote et qui fait la fierté de pas mal de personnes. Donc, pour résumer, le leadership dans ce contexte s'est manifesté par le fait que j'ai mouillé le maillot à travers mes actes, mon attitude d'écoute active, le servant leadership, la communication. Et puis, tout cela a inspiré la communauté qui s'est consolidée autour d'une vision que nous avons estimée, que nous avons pensée claire dès le départ de la préparation du projet.
Wow. Okay, so I hear we have English only speaking individuals in the session. So I want to resume a bit, summarize a bit what Yvonne said. So the question to Yvonne, which I hope, believe will give us also his point of view about it, is that what does it really mean to be a leader without a title? And so Yvonne was saying that to have being a leader without a title, the first thing is that you have to be able to have a vision of what you want to accomplish. The second thing, what I understood, the second thing is that you have to be able to, to roll up your sleeves and get your hands in the mold. It's not about telling people that go here, go there. It's about I can do it and I do it with you. And it's about being able to communicate the vision so that everybody can understand it and be able to follow with you in that vision. So, Billy, do you want to tell us, in your opinion as a professional, what it means to be a leader without a title?
Thank you very much. And I totally align with what Yvonne has said. Leading without a title is just absolutely removing the title, right? We were all born with no title. We didn't even have names. Some parent, some grandmother, some grandfather gave us a name, and we believe that we are called by that name. But when you think about it, really, we are not our names. We are not the titles that are put on us. We are something that is within us, which is called purpose. Everyone was born on it with a purpose. And it's about cultivating that purpose, understanding it, and then feeding it to the world. So it's about understanding what you're passionate about. How can you build the attributes that you have within yourself to help achieve different missions on earth? So leading without a title is forgetting about the titles that we're given in organizations and leading with purpose. And leading with purpose means that you should have a vision, right? And you should have self-mastery. And now self-mastery is very difficult. So as a leader without a title, you need to master yourself first. You can't lead other people if you can't lead yourself. Do you even understand your core values? That's the question that I will ask if you're on the core. If you don't, then there's no way you can create a compass for other people. Just like Yvonne was saying, you can't start directing other people if you can't direct yourself or if you can't lead yourself as well. So leading without the title is harnessing your competencies. What are those competencies that you want to build? Say project management, whatever it is that you are in. And then, the second bit is around character. What character have you built? What do people know you for? So you need to build a character as a leader without a title. And then finally is around connection, right? How do you connect with people? In organizations, we talk about ROI, return on investment. Your accountants will tell you about return on investment on any project that you're running. But return on investment, or ROI, in leading without an example, stands for building relationships. That's the first R. So you build relationships because people go where they feel welcome, but they stay where they feel connected. So it's about harnessing the relationship. And second is putting your eyes on the outcomes. What are the outcomes? So that's the one already talked about. You have to be very clear, clarity of thought and mind as a leader without a title. You have to influence people, inspire people to say, this is where we're going, guys. And then continuous improvement, also known as Kaizen in Japanese philosophy. So in a nutshell, I think that is what is known as leading without a title, is inspiring people without using any authority given to you to actually lead them. Yeah.
I love really what you said about character. I love it. I think that is the most essential part of it. The values you embed as an individual is very important. I also love your definition of return on investment, the ROI. I remember my CEO always telling me, Alexi, focus on the outcome. It's very important because along the way, whether have a title or not, there has to be some point where you're gonna be face to face with the wall, and what gives you the push to keep going is the vision you have and the outcome you are having in your mind. So I just so much love the fact that you and Yvonne have emphasized the outcome. What is the vision? What is it that, where are you taking this project to, or where are you taking these people to? And when people see that you actually know where you are taking them to, then they may, I'm not sure they will automatically, they may want to follow you. So, Billy, I want to stay with you, and I know you're a seasoned project management professional. So we said today we are not going to flaunt our titles out there. But would you please share with us a defining moment in your career where you actually had to lead without, flaunting your title out there?
Thank you so much. I have had several occasions when I've laid without a title, because it's just so much intrinsic fulfillment that you get when people follow you because they believe in what you carry, and not because they are scared that you whip them or you will not pay them. So there's just so much pride that comes in, intrinsically. I will give you the recent example when we recently rehabilitated a hospital which did not have power and it did not have supply of clean water. So the maternity ward was in a mess. Our mothers were given birth in a place which had no water, which had no power. You can imagine, and I don't know, in God's wisdom, most babies are delivered at night. And so what would happen is then they would use the phone torch, right?
Yeah.
Use the phone torch to actually give birth, to bring purpose on earth. That was excruciating. That was debilitating. It was very painful. When I went on site and the nurse was telling me the story, I was gripped with fear and worry. But then very quickly I thought, when you are encountered with a storm, you always have to put on a leadership mindset. A victim mindset would go to complain. A leader would look for answers even in the middle of a storm. Right there, I realized that we had a calling as PMI Zambia to do something in that space. And we organized ourselves. We managed to install a solar driven pump. So we changed all the pipe works. There was clean water. We also installed an inverter, and we also uplifted the entire maternity ward. And the day of launching, we went there. People didn't know who we were. And we arrived because we were on the ground and we were digging with the guys, with phones. And now I can say my title, where I work in another world. I'm a chief information officer. I'm an expo member. But when I was on the ground with the people helping the community, there was nothing to do with the title, because we were answering the highest call, right? There was purpose. So we needed to influence, we needed to inspire for the outcome that we wanted to see. And we went in, I went to the drilling machine, I was drilling, and people didn't know, up until we were given speeches. And after the event was done, you could see government officials now coming to me, Mr. President, and you could see the way they were approaching me and addressing me now differed, right? I would tell you, that made me feel uncomfortable afterwards, right? Because before, it was just me with the people, inspiring them and influencing them to say, we can't allow our mothers to give birth in a very unconducive environment. And what happened was partnerships came in, government pumped in more money as well. As we speak today, people, our mothers are now giving birth in a very conducive environment with
Wow.
lights, clean water, and that brings satisfaction to my heart. So that is one
Yeah.
moment I laid without a title, and people followed the vision, and we landed the project. The outcome was absolutely amazing and life-changing impact in the
And
community where we.
congratulations. Congratulations. So I just want to talk to our online community, and I just want to tell people that what you did is absolutely amazing. And I know we have a lot of opportunities like this in our community. And people are just so scared of taking up the responsibility to help people. And it is actually the purpose of this session today, to tell people that, hey, you don't need to have a title to help somebody. You just have to do it. I mean, and then somehow people will start asking you that, man, who are you really? You get what I mean? So thank you for sharing, Billy. Yvonne, notre lion est indomptable. J'espère que tu
Yes.
es d'accord avec nous.
Oui, je
Donc,
suis là.
j'aime bien ce que Billy a dit quand il a dit que le leadership, les gens ne doivent pas vous suivre juste parce qu'ils ont peur d'être virés ou bien parce qu'ils ont peur qu'ils ne vont pas être payés à la fin du mois. Je veux savoir, et je suis sûre qu'il y a plein de personnes dans la session qui veulent savoir aussi, comment est-ce qu'en tant que leader, ou alors leader actuel ou quelqu'un qui aspire à être leader, comment est-ce qu'on peut avoir une influence, tu vois, sans forcément, sans avoir un titre? Comment est-ce que j'influence une communauté, un groupe de personnes à me suivre, à poursuivre une certaine vision, sans forcément avoir un titre qui est endossé à mon nom?
Ok, c'est une question très intéressante. Je vais reprendre les propos de Billy. Il a dit ceci: To lead people, you have to lead yourself first. Ça signifie quoi? Il faut savoir gérer ses émotions avant de chercher à gérer celles des autres. Et là, on tombe dans le cadre de l'intelligence émotionnelle, celle qui permet de renforcer le leadership sans autorité en facilitant, comme j'ai dit tantôt, la gestion des émotions, les siennes et celles des autres, la compréhension des autres et bien entendu l'adaptation aux différentes situations. Un leader informel, grâce à l'intelligence émotionnelle, peut créer des liens authentiques, inspirer confiance, motiver son équipe et résoudre les conflits de manière constructive. Vous n'êtes pas sans ignorer que dès qu'on est deux, c'est une opposition, c'est des potentiels conflits. Mais quand on est dans la dynamique de construire, focus on outcome, comme on a dit tantôt, ça permet de guider et d'influencer les autres efficacement, même sans avoir de position officielle. Voilà un peu résumé quelques éléments qui permettent d'influencer sans avoir une autorité formelle.
Billy, do you want to add something to what Yvonne has said?
Yeah, so and that is you very much assuming that I understood all the French, but I did. Very kind of you, Alexei. Yeah, I absolutely align with what she says, right? Like leading people without
to resume, I was talking about emotional intelligence.
Yeah.
I got it. Yes,
I'm sure you did.
I actually got it. To lead people without a title, you really have to be connected with the people. I think we should never overemphasize the connection. People are people. People are not machines. People are not robots. guys. People have families. People are going through a lot. And when they show up on a project or in a project team, it's not about following the Gantt chart, the backlog stories and what we
The
haven't done.
fishbone.
Faster. It's about understanding what spaces people are in. Billy might be nursing a sick son at home. Billy might be going through a divorce. Billy might be going through a loss of a loved one. And when they show up, everything they come with forms them, right? And you as a leader, if you don't have the emotional intelligence, you will not be able to connect with your team members. And that will actually take away from helping you deal with the real issues where you can actually inspire people. How do you inspire someone who's uninspired by themselves? How do you inspire someone who's actually contemplating on committing suicide? These are the real life issues that we deal with, guys, when we meet with our teams. And it calls for a leader who can listen more than he can speak. It's easy to distract. You know, Yvonne talked about inspiring and not using authority. But how do you inspire? It's when you show them that you can listen more than you can speak. And you don't listen to respond, but you listen to understand. What is Alexi talking about here? What are the challenges that she's going through? Then you find a way of inspiring Alexi, right? So very quickly, emotional intelligence on paper seems easy, guys, but emotional intelligence is attached to self-regulation, right? You as an individual, you need to read yourself. You need to know your biases. You need to know your blind spots before you check other people's blind spots. That's number one. Number two is just self-awareness. When I'm in this environment, are people feeling me? Are they responding? So as you speak, it's not a script that you read before and then you're talking to people. It's about you reading the responses, the body language from the people. If they're uncomfortable, open the conversation. What is your comment? You know, Irene, what is your comment? What is your view? Open it up. So your role as a leader is not to build a stage and then you start performing on it. It's to build a stage for other people to perform. That is leadership without a title. And when things fail, take ownership. When there's a win, let the team win. It's not you as a person, because then you take the glory. Finally, embrace DEI, which is diversity, equity, and inclusion, right? It's very critical. Understand that teams will be diverse. There will be people with different ethnicities, people with different ages, people would want to be addressed in a certain way because they're elderly and they're on your team. How do you handle that? You are ideally their daughter, but then you are their leader, even though you don't have a title. How do you inspire a mother in a way that they actually show up and deliver for you? It's very important. So it's only when you embrace diversity that we are here with differences, but then in the differences lies our greatness. But if you just end the differences and then you don't include people to actually have a voice on a call or have a voice in a meeting, then you create frustrated people who've got different tools and they've got ideas, but then you lock them and you're out there saying, our team is diverse. It has women. It has old people. You get it? We just tick the box. It's important that you actually live up to that diversity by including them in your decision making. And eventually you make sure that everyone feels accepted, you know, on the team as you are working. So in a nutshell, when you have a diverse team and you haven't included them, they will be disgruntled. And when you have a team that you've included and it's not diverse, you will have groupthink and stagnation. There will be no innovation because all of them will be thinking inside one box. So as you live with empathy, listen more than you speak. There's a reason why God gave us 2 ears and 1 mouth as a leader. Also, have the grace to accept divergent views, no matter how much it makes you feel. It's not about you, it's about the purpose and the goal.
Thank you so much for sharing, Billy. Wow. I don't know if the online community is enjoying this conversation the way I am. So I love what Yvonne and Billy said when they said that people are not machines. I remember I was just newly certified because Isidore likes to throw a lot of flowers on me, but I'm just newly certified. I have not been PMP certified for up to 6 months. And we had gone through this entire transformation program with the Stanford University. It was a company-wide transformation program, and we arrived the point where we had to, stop speaking and start acting. And the company was looking for a PMO, and I had a conversation with the CEO, and he told me, Alexi, I know you can do this, but you have to understand that project management is more of managing people than it is about managing tools or using tools. And I can tell you that this has been one of the greatest challenges in my life. Managing people, it is very tough. So I really, it is extremely tough, because sometimes we say, oh, leadership, empathy, but when you are in the shoes of it, last week I actually told myself that of all the things I learned in the certification, stakeholder management is actually the most difficult thing to do. So I just want to say it again to the people who are listening to us online. Billy and Yvonne are teaching us, or are sharing with us today, that being a leader without a title, empathy, listen to people more than you speak. Understand that people are first people before they are a member of the team. And, take people's opinion into consideration. When we win, it is the team that wins. It is not I, the project manager, or I, the leader, or I, the person with the title that won. It is the team that wins. And thank you guys for sharing this very important insight. Billy, I want to stay with you. It is not often said that being a leader, you will encounter a lot of resistance, whether you have a title or not. And even when you do not even have a title, or when you're trying to lead without, putting the title out there, people will resist you even more, especially in Cameroon. Billy, I don't know if you've been in Cameroon before, but being a leader without a title in Cameroon is quite hard. So I want you to share with us some tips today that we can use to navigate these challenges that we can encounter, like resistance when we're trying to lead without having a formal title.
Thank you so much. And I believe that this marks the acquisition of a visa for me to come to Cameroon. This podcast. I'll be on my way. Yes. So, very important question that you've asked, and I'll try to wrap it up very quickly. And I usually love to use experiments, right? So for all of you watching us for wherever you're going, I want you to clasp your hands like this. You clasp. Okay. So some of you have your right thumb on top of the left thumb, some of you vice versa, right? So now I want you to do the exact opposite. If this first time your thumb is on the left, on top of the right, I want you to switch it. So let's go again. Switch it. Yeah, I like. Yeah, Alexi. So, and if we were to ask everybody online to say, how did that feel? You will hear all sorts of responses: uncomfortable, unnatural, difficult. And this is exactly what projects drive, or leadership drives. It causes uncomfortability because it brings about change. People resist because they do not have the neural paths in their head that you're trying to introduce. Just a simple experiment. Someone has to try 1,000 and more for it to become natural the other way around. We always go with our comfort zone, right? And this is exactly when you understand that people do not resist because they hate you. They resist because they just simply do not understand. They don't know why you're running that project. They don't know why you're asking them to do what they're doing. Well,
Tell me about it.
Exactly. Now, I'll introduce you to just 5 things that you always have to remember as a leader. Number 1, awareness. Is the awareness there? Do your team members or people understand why you're driving that change? Very critical. Why are we rehabilitating a maternity ward? The community has to understand, otherwise they'll be the first to come and steal the solar panels. If you don't raise awareness, they will damage and vandalize whatever you're working on because they don't align with what you're doing. Number two is the desire. Do they actually have the inner drive to follow your vision or work with you or help you? So these are measuring items that you use. Do people have the desire, and you check with them, you ask them more questions. That's why you listen more as a leader without a title, because you will see where there's no desire, then you need to begin to drive the desire. Guys, this is your maternity ward, it's your hospital. You need to guide it. You find someone trying to vandalize it, catch that person, because this belongs to the community. So they own it and they will have the desire to safeguard that property that has been built, right? The number three key thing is the K, the knowledge. Do people have the knowledge to actually help you? Because many times you think people understand. I've been in meetings where project managers speak Gantt chart, critical path, and you think people understand. People do not realize they resist. So they will become difficult with you in a board meeting because you're trying to come out smarter. Learn the language, simplify the language, demystify all these terminologies, the difficult terminologies. When we meet you and I, we can talk about those fancy things, risk, response, and whatnot. But when you're with the people on the ground, speak a language that they understand. If you're able to simplify it, it means you've harnessed it. It means you've mastered it. The other A is about the ability. Do people have the ability to actually lead that change, right? So do you have to handhold them? Do you need to train them every day? Do you need to have a program, because you need to be patient? If people do not have the ability, you can give them a Porsche car. If they don't have the ability to drive it, they'll crash it, and the project won't yield the results. Then the final one is the R, which is reinforcement. Now reinforce the good things that people are doing, from awareness to desire to knowledge to ability. If they do something nice, celebrate, so that you trigger, that hormone that makes people happy, which is dopamine. You want to trigger that every now and then. So it's a journey, and you have to be patient as a leader. Failure will be inevitable if you're leading without a title, and you need to know that failure is not fatal. It's a learning point for you to pivot and do things better the following day. So that's how I would advise people to handle resistance.
Wow. I hope like I'm writing and I'm learning, and I hope the team online is writing and learning as well. And I don't know what to say, Billy. You are just so exceptional. I hope one day we'll have you in Cameroon and we'll organize a nice conference with you. And I will call all my co-project managers who are struggling like me today, and you will come and teach us all the nice things. Thank you so much. But the thing that caught my, that piqued my attention was the awareness part, because whatever we're doing, whatever project we are handling, we are in a sense trying to cause, to drive transformation. And again, I have my mentor. She would always tell me that, Alexi, transformation is hard. And always telling people why it is so important for us to do this thing. Why is this project important for the community? Why is this project important for the company? Why is this project important for all of us is amazing. So I hope my fellow PMs online, they are taking their notes. So, Yvonne, notre très valeureuse lionne indomptable.
Je suis connectée.
J'aimerais que tu nous dises un peu. Billy nous a dit comment est-ce qu'on peut essayer de naviguer les résistances auxquelles on pourrait faire face en tant que leader informel. Maintenant, j'aimerais que tu nous enseignes de ton expérience à toi aussi. Comment est-ce qu'on peut obtenir, en anglais, on appelle ça le buy-in. En français, Isidore, you might have to help me. Sometimes my French is not so good. I think c'est l'approbation, exactement, l'engagement de la team, en tant qu'un leader informel. Quels sont les tips ou les astuces qu'on peut utiliser pour avoir l'engagement des gars avec lesquels on travaille en tant qu'un leader informel?
Pour ceux qui voulaient voir mon joli visage, je suis obligée de tenir compte de la difficulté qu'on a ici avec l'instabilité d'Internet. Donc, j'ai mis la caméra en off. Peut-être je la remettrai avant la fin de la session. Si j'ai bien compris la question, comment on jugule les résistances en tant que leader informel, quelles sont les astuces? C'est bien ça?
Exactement.
Ok, je vais encore m'appuyer sur un exemple qui a un lien avec la communauté de mon quartier. Donc, dans notre association, l'un des axes de la mission, c'est de favoriser le bien-être de nos membres. En général, en fin d'année, nous organisons une fête qui rassemble, n'est-ce pas, toutes les familles. À l'époque, nous étions à une période critique, pour ne pas la citer, c'était en 2021, post-Covid. Les deux camps s'affrontaient sur la tenue ou non de l'événement, compte tenu de la sécurité sanitaire. Donc, après avoir évalué les risques et proposé des mesures d'atténuation, la majorité des membres a validé l'organisation d'une fête. Une fois de plus, j'étais encore dans l'équipe d'organisation. Au fur et à mesure que nous évoluions dans les activités préparatoires, il y avait de nouvelles résistances. Donc, l'équipe essayait tant bien que mal d'y faire face. Malheureusement, à quelques jours de la tenue de la fête, un des membres de l'association m'a personnellement indexé ou plutôt accusé de vouloir tirer profit des retombées de l'événement. À l'entendre parler, tout le monde a compris que c'était une accusation très grave et nous avons convoqué et tenu une réunion de crise avec quelques, on va dire, doyens de la communauté. C'est un autre membre qui à la suite de cette réunion, qui a rencontré ce membre que je dirais grincheux et qui lui a parlé de mes actions auprès des mécènes pour réussir cet événement-là tous les ans, parce que chez nous, c'est une institution. Quand on a tenu la fête qui a été un succès, c'est le membre grincheux qui a pris le micro et chantait partout, il faisait l'éloge de ma personne. Et depuis ce temps-là, il est devenu mon avocat défenseur. Donc, pour gérer les résistances les résistances liées à l'exemple que je viens de décrire, il a fallu adopter une approche empathique et stratégique. On a écouté activement les préoccupations des membres, on a communiqué de manière transparente. Et le fait d'avoir également impliqué les membres dans les décisions et pris en compte leur contribution, à mon sens, a permis de renforcer l'engagement des membres engagés dans l'organisation de la fête et réduit ainsi les oppositions. Dans le cas d'espèce, il a fallu montrer l'exemple, ne pas s'arrêter sur les accusations, mais rester focus sur l'objectif qui est d'organiser un événement fédérateur. Et il a également fallu faire preuve de flexibilité pour résoudre les conflits de manière constructive, une fois de plus, parce que on peut résoudre tous les conflits, mais les résoudre de manière constructive, c'est différent. Tout ceci, n'est-ce pas, constitue les facteurs essentiels pour surmonter les résistances et créer un environnement de collaboration qui favorise aussi la confiance. Et l'environnement, il faut le garder productif parce qu'à la fin de la journée, il faut réaliser l'objectif et donc le outcome, comme on disait depuis le début de la session.
Wow. Merci Yvonne. Donc moi je vais un peu résumer je vais résumer un peu en anglais for our English only audience. Yvonne was saying that in order to have buy-in and overcome resistance, Again, empathy is important. So I hear the word empathy, emotional
Yes.
intelligence a lot. So it seems that in order to be an effective leader without a title, you have to be a practitioner of emotional intelligence. It seems to me like it is crucial, it is key. It is an attribute without which it's going to be very difficult. Also, there is a very strong word that Yvonne used. She said flexibility. It means that it might not always go the way you planned it to go. And when things don't go the right way, maybe you try to find out from the people, speak to them. Elle a parlé d'écouter beaucoup, écouter, comprendre quel est le problème. Et aussi, again, being focused on the outcome. The outcome matters. The outcome is the reason why we are doing what we are doing, and it should be the only drive. The drive is that we achieve the objective that we set for us to achieve. Thank you, Yvonne, for sharing. We are having a very interesting conversation. Guys, please, if you have any questions, you may drop it in the chat and we'll pick the questions at the end of the session. So, Billy, tell us, we spoke about emotional intelligence so much, and I know emotional intelligence. People have written about emotional intelligence. In your opinion, as a professional, why is emotional intelligence so crucial for a leader without a title? Why all this, emotional intelligence here, emotional intelligence there? Why is that?
Thank you so much. Because human beings are complex and they're emotional beings. That's simply the thing. Because in the past, we used to use scientific leadership, right? It was about efficiency. How fast can we drive this? That's how come we have just in time and all these agile methodologies that we have, right? We focused on the outcome. We never focused on people. When you come to people, people are complex and people have emotions. And what's very even makes it very difficult is that you as a leader, you also have emotions. And usually we think we know who we are, but half the times we don't because we define ourselves using the blind spots that we have. And we are comfortable to define ourselves the way we define ourselves because we look from inside, right? So no wonder the three things, pillars in emotional intelligence. The first one, which I talked about, which is self-mastery, building the competence in whichever area you are in, whether it's project management, whether it's strategy, whether it's IT, whether it's legal, you have to build your competence. You actually have to build your competence by studying, by improving yourself continuously. Continuous learning is very critical. And then awareness. It's about self-awareness. So when you look at emotional intelligence, it's more of a drive. You need to know yourself. How aware are you of yourself? Do you even realize when you're upset? Do you realize when you're jealous? Do you realize when they give an award to the next person how you feel? And do you actually ask yourself a question to say, why were you jealous because Billy got that award and not you, or Billy got promoted and not you, right? There's so many things that we need to address around this emotional intelligence before you come to the self-regulation. And I just want to give an example of a model which is called ETC. So ETC, E is emotions, right? So it's always about understanding the emotions because you will use them as a leader without a title to handle a lot of situations, especially conflicts. When a conflict arises and you don't have authority, you can't reprimand people and say, I am going to charge you. Guess what? You can't charge them. It's leading volatile. Unless you just say, I want to do the annual plan and I'm a leader and I can't push you to do it because you don't get paid for it. So how do I, right? So you have to address the emotions candidly, confrontation. right? So we address the emotions, like how are you feeling in this situation? If we have a conflict, you will tell me, I am upset, I am angry because I feel like you favor this person more than you do favor me, right? So they say name it to tame it. Even babies, when they're crying, when you find the emotion that they are having, like, are you hungry? No. Are you angry? Yes, mommy, I am. Like, you hit the emotion, and now there's calmness in the baby's demeanor. It's exactly the same. We are all babies who've just grown, guys. So when we meet in workplaces, we throw as well when we realize that other people don't understand our emotions. So as a leader without a title, you need to take time. And I'm sorry, it feels like you become a counselor, but that's the length it takes for you to be a leader without a title. So Alexi, how are you feeling? What emotions are you feeling? Alexi mentions the feelings, the emotions. So you name it to tame it. And then now you talk about the choices, that the truth around that. What is the truth around how you're feeling? Is it true that the team does not like you? No, okay, I feel because the way Billy talks to me and everything. So you address the truth, right? Around these emotions that you've identified. Then you get to the choices. So what choice do we have? Do we then stay focused and move ahead to become even bigger for us to attain our outcome? Or is it a time where people part ways? And guess what? Leadership is not about every time things are okay. Sometimes you even have to part ways with some people if they don't fully fit in, because you don't want to have people in a toxic environment continuously. You're going to damage them, you're going to damage the entire team. So emotional intelligence for me is the main or core foundation for a leader, not only a leader without a title, even leaders with titles will have to lead with emotional intelligence. But I iterate again, know thyself, master yourself, the competence, the character, and the connection forms the credibility that you bring to the table as a leader, whether you have a title or you don't have a title.
Thanks, Billy. So competence, character, and connection. Very, very powerful. I just want to ask a question, Billy, because I I hear a lot about emotional intelligence, and I know a lot of people. Like, what length can you go? Because we are talking about outcome in the project or in whatever we're trying to do. We have the team. We are aiming for outcome. We have to manage the team. But what length can we go to in terms of accommodating emotions within the team and etc.
Yeah, so thank you so much. I think what we can do as leaders, we can't solve for everything, right? That's why it's important to, you can only inspire and influence people. I'm hoping that their personal value system or goals align with the bigger goal. And you know, I always try to use this example, especially in project management, that you can ask people to say, we are building a boat, so let's do it. You 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, you're going to cut this tree, you're going to hammer the nails in the tree, the other team is going to check if there are gaps in the boat, and then we put it on the water, and then we go, right? So that's one thing. And people who actually do the stuff, you can manage the tasks, right? Like project management proper, without even focusing on emotions and everything. The second view or perspective is you can come in as a leader and say, guys, how about we went out of our comfort zone? Because comfort zone, nothing grows in there, even though it's comfortable. We want to become bigger, we want to become greater as a people. How about we explore the lengths of the horizon of this ocean, where it goes? Let's just enjoy and have the interaction with nature wherever it takes us. And people come on the project with that drive, right? Because you've inspired them. Now, that's what I call project leadership. This is project management. So you inspire people to align their personal inclinations, their personal drives, because everyone asks the question, what is in it for me, right? So when you address that issue, what is in it for me is this, and it aligns with a global picture, then individualism dies, And people now collaborate more because they're looking at the bigger picture and they realize that we are all just pixels in this big picture. So what forms a picture is when every pixel brings its A game, and overall we look at this bigger picture. We have a painting, right? So as a leader, you can't solution for everything. You need to know that. That is recipe for failure. What you can do, however, is to provide support, allow for conflicts to happen amongst your team, and don't force to solve for every conflict as a leader. Allow for people to actually come up with solutions themselves, because you're not a know-it-all. This world is never about having all the answers up front as a leader, especially a leader without a title. It's about knowing where to go when you need some answers for certain questions. And mostly answers are within the team members. That's why the diversity and inclusion now plays a bigger piece. As a leader, you should also be able to be vulnerable to say, I don't know, team, what do you think? And for me, that's very critical in dealing with this emotional intelligence, because it's not a silver bullet. Harnessing emotional intelligence is not a silver bullet that you have a working team. You are actually part of a team, and you can be the person with a problem and you're a leader, right? So how do other people actually call you out as a leader, because you allow for that psychological safetyness to happen. So I think for me, that's the way I would answer that question. That
Thank
I
you.
can't find the length, but I can say that when you have a growth mindset, you will learn as you go and be open-minded and allow team members to actually help you out in certain circumstances, because you won't have all the answers up front as a leader.
Thank you so much. I love two things that you said. The first thing is distinguishing between project management and project leadership. I hadn't heard that before, but I think it's important that we toe the line between project managing the project and leading the project. And the second thing, which to me is also key, is what you said about, hey, I don't know, Tim, what do you think? Because sometimes we think that because we are the project manager or we are, the leader, quotes on quotes of this thing, we have to know it all. But part of being emotional intelligence also, like you said, self-awareness, saying that I don't know nothing about this thing right now. So what do you know? I think is key. Thank you so much, Billy. Yvonne,
Yes.
we are talking about emotional. Nous sommes en train de parler de l'intelligence émotionnelle. Et je
Oui.
vous entends, Billy et toi, parler d'inspirer, de diriger, etc. Comment, selon toi, selon ton expérience, qu'est-ce qu'on peut faire en tant qu'un leader informel pour inspirer son équipe? Je veux dire, on ne se réveille pas tous les matins avec une motivation à 100 000%. Comment est-ce qu'on fait pour inspirer l'équipe à atteindre ce outcome qu'on désire? Yvonne?
Ok. Oui, je suis là. No worry. Pour inspirer son équipe, je pense qu'il faut bâtir une certaine crédibilité. Et il faut s'assurer qu'elle est suffisamment forte. Et ceci, c'est à travers la démonstration de ses compétences et de son expertise. On ne peut pas être un leader si on est incompétent et si on n'a pas une certaine expertise dans le domaine dans lequel on exerce son leadership. Il faut être cohérent et fiable et surtout adopter une attitude de service. En anglais, on parle de servant leadership. Et on revient toujours sur la communication qui doit se faire de manière transparente. L'autre aspect, c'est qu'il faut montrer l'exemple en permanence. Il faut mouiller le maillot. Billy parlait du projet pour réhabiliter les maternités dans son pays. Il a pris le balai, la brosse pour nettoyer au même titre que les gens qui sont en dessous de lui. Donc, il faut investir du temps pour construire des relations de confiance et surtout valoriser les contributions de chaque membre de l'équipe. La célébration, c'est pas pour rien. Il faut récompenser les membres de l'équipe, reconnaître les efforts de chacun. Une fois de plus, écouter activement et s'adapter aux changements. Le leader sans titre inspire et motive son équipe à atteindre, n'est-ce pas, les objectifs communs. Je vais encore m'appuyer sur un exemple pour bien illustrer ce que je viens de dire. En 2023, je dois participer au PMI Africa Conference à Nairobi, au Kenya. Et je me souviens à l'époque que le siège d'un partenaire de l'entreprise dans laquelle je travaille s'y trouve. Et que nous, en tant qu'institution, on n'a jamais été chez ce partenaire. Je me suis rapprochée de ma hiérarchie et j'ai fait la proposition d'aller rendre visite au staff du partenaire. La hiérarchie a validé. À la fin de la conférence, je me suis rendue au siège du partenaire et avec le staff, on a eu des échanges et ils m'ont fait remarquer que nous, en tant qu'institution, nous sous-utilisions une ligne de subvention qui correspondait à l'assistance technique. Ils m'ont donné les trucs et astuces pour pouvoir monter un dossier de demande d'assistance technique pour un montant un peu plus conséquent que ce dont on avait toujours bénéficié. Donc, une fois rentré au pays, je rends compte à l'équipe dirigeante et je suis d'office désigné pour piloter le projet qui intégrait la demande de subvention. Quelques mois plus tard, le partenaire nous accorde la subvention pour un montant assez significatif. Ce que je veux démontrer à travers cet exemple, c'est qu'une démarche volontaire a abouti à l'obtention d'une subvention qui viendra, n'est-ce pas, soulager la trésorerie de l'entreprise dans laquelle je travaille. L'ensemble des qualités que j'ai énumérées tantôt a permis de renforcer la crédibilité auprès du partenaire et de guider efficacement l'équipe, je veux dire l'équipe dirigeante, même sans autorité formelle. Donc, voilà un peu résumé, hein, parce que si on ne limite pas le temps, on va parler de ça jusqu'à demain.
Oui, je sais, c'est très, je vais dire quoi, on a beaucoup de choses à apprendre. Je veux juste résumer ce que tu as dit en anglais for our English only speaking community online. So Yvonne was saying that in order to inspire the team as a leader, there are some character traits that you must portray. The first is that you must be able to build credibility from your experience and from your competencies, because people will hardly follow people who have not shown capacity in being able to do what they are trying to drive us to do. The second thing is that you must have coherence and stability. If you're telling us go here today, don't change the vision tomorrow. The vision has to stay coherent. You have to be stable and adopt the servant leadership. In the experience Billy shared, he said that they were trying to rehabilitate a maternity facility, and he being the president of the organization, he had to roll up his sleeves and get the work done. So it's about servant leadership. It's about serving other people than other people serving us as being an informal leader. So find an opportunity to serve, build your credibility as an informal leader, and be stable and coherent in what you are doing, in what you're saying. Thank you very much, Tata Yvonne. Je veux rester avec toi. On dit souvent que être un leader, le leadership, c'est de montrer l'exemple. Comment est-ce qu'en tant qu'un leader informel, on peut prêcher par l'exemple? Quels sont les attributs? Quels sont les tips, les astuces? Nous sommes dans une expérience, nous sommes dans une session de partage d'expérience. Et donc, j'aimerais que tu nous parles de par ton expérience, comment est-ce qu'un leader informel peut prêcher et diriger son équipe à travers, en lui montrant l'exemple.
Ok, c'est une question, peut-être c'est une question piège, hein, parce que il n'y a pas, il y a pas véritablement de formule magique. Être un exemple, c'est mettre la main à la pâte, mouiller le maillot comme un vrai lion indomptable. Les lions d'avant, hein, pas ceux d'aujourd'hui. Hein. Donc, en montrant l'exemple, le leader démontre ses valeurs et comportements qu'il souhaite de manière tangible. C'est ça qui inspire et motive les autres à le suivre comme modèle. Et ça contribue à créer un climat de confiance et de respect. Car en général, quand les membres d'une équipe voient leur leader appliquer les mêmes normes et attentes qu'ils prennent, forcément, ils vont le suivre. Enfin, dans les différents projets que j'ai pilotés, j'ai pu constater que même les plus réticents, à force de me voir m'impliquer, aller jusqu'à réaliser les tâches les plus élémentaires qui ne relevaient pas de ma compétence, les poussaient, n'est-ce pas, à suivre le mouvement. L'exemplarité aide également à établir une cohérence entre les paroles et les actions. Il ne faut pas seulement être un beau parleur, il faut agir. Et c'est cela qui est crucial, n'est-ce pas, pour maintenir l'équilibre entre l'intégrité et la fiabilité. Quand on incarne ces qualités que, en tant que leader, qu'on souhaite voir chez les autres, ça guide et ça influence efficacement l'équipe, même sans avoir une autorité formelle. Peut-être Billy va un peu développer là-dessus.
Merci, Tata Yvonne. Merci beaucoup. So, Billy, for our English speaking only audience, so how, as an informal leader, they say that leadership is example. So, as an informal leader, Yvonne was saying that you have to be able to, we've spoken about that a lot, getting the work done with the team as part of showing the example. So, how can I drive my team by showing them the example? How can I lead the team by showing them the example as an informal leader?
Thank you so much. That's a very difficult question, actually, because it calls for you as a leader to lead by example and to show up, right? And as a leader without a title, for you to get the credibility, usually, because there's different types of powers. There's legitimate power where you've been given a title by an organization. There's reward power. You are able to pay someone or your garden boy or get man. If they don't deliver, then you don't pay them, right? So there's kind of like a punishment attached to it. So people get driven to work like that. There's also refrain power, because I know you, Alexi, or I know Yvonne, then I get respected by the people who see me with that person. But then there's this power which is very critical for a leader without a title. It is expert power. Expert power is still attached to the competence that I talked about when you're building credibility. So you don't just go in to say I'm a leader without a title. People want to see credibility. You actually have to know your stuff. You can't just wake up tomorrow and say I'm running a project to sink boreholes in this village and I'm a leader without a title and I'm going to lead you. People observe more than they hear. I always use this example when a gunshot is fired. We see the light or the fire at the nose of the gun before we hear the sound. Because why? Light travels faster than sound. People emulate what they see more than what we tell them. So as a leader, you can come with all these nice things. This is our vision, this is the direction, and you imagine you don't even have a title, and we need to get here. And then you demonstrate every day that you're waking up and you're being with these guys that you actually do not know. There's no credibility around you in that particular project. They will begin to lose the confidence in you as a leader. And I'm not saying that you should be know it all, but you should actually have a level of knowledge in what you're doing. So in leading by example, you have to work harder as a leader by actually learning and knowing your craft, because it's only through credibility, beyond the trust and the transparency that you build, you gotta bring some credibility to the table that you know your stuff, you know. So I think I will be failing at my job by telling everyone on the call to say, you can wake up tomorrow and go and build a nuclear plant without a title because you can be a leader. No, you have to have the capacity. So it's one thing to have the aspiration, it's another to have the capacity to actually lead a team to where it's supposed to go. It's all about impact, right? So these three things: you have the aspiration to be a leader without a title, but build the capacity, work towards it, attend webinars like this one, go to PMI, do courses, go to school, do a master's degree, you know, for you to drive that particular impact. So I think that's how I would answer that question, Alexia. Thanks.
Thank you so much. I think it's a lot of what Yvonne said, to building credibility and through your experience. And I love the fact that yesterday I was in a meeting. We had a little gathering of PMIs in Douala here in Cameroon. And one of my colleagues there said that they were in a project, a building project or something, and he is PMP certified. And there were people there who were saying that the PMP is just for fancy, and that you don't need to be PMP certified in order to do the project. And I can say it here in the call that it is a fat lie, because I have led some kind of projects before being PMP, and now that I am PMP, it is absolutely different. And when you say that you are PMP, even if you don't know what you're doing, people respect you. And people follow you just because they say, ah, mais, elle est quand même certifiée, non? On va quand même faire ce qu'elle nous dit un peu parce qu'elle est certifiée. And I remember when I was newly appointed PMO of our transformation program, I set an alarm every morning. I had what I call my PMPR. That was after I was certified, because I was new, I didn't know nothing. I had just gotten certified. I had been a sales professional for 7 years, and I just transitioned into a project management and career. I did not know nothing. I didn't know any tool. I remember I would write Isidore and tell Isidore that, hey, can you give me a template for this? What tool can I use for this? I mean, I don't know it all now, but because I said every morning I will do 1 hour to learn one thing new about being a project manager. It is important. I like the fact that both you, Billy, and Yvonne have emphasized on the fact that you can't be a leader just by aspiration. Whether you have the title or not, you have to learn your craft, and you have to be the master of what you're trying to do. Thank you so much. At this point, we've had I hope for the online community, the discussion has been as inspiring to you guys as it has been to me. Because I would say it again, I'm starting a career in project management. I hope to have a beautiful career like Yvonne and Lee. So I hope that the people online who have questions, at this point we want to take some questions so that our experts in the call can give us answers to our questions. Isidore?
Yeah, we have many questions. Thank you. You are exceptional. Yeah, thank you. You know, I want to remind you, PMP don't make you a project manager. PMP confine that you are a project manager. It means that you are a project manager since. Yeah.
Yeah.
Okay.
Thanks. I needed to hear that
too. Okay. You have many. Yeah, really.
Yeah, if I can come in there, when she was speaking around PMP, I always ask this question. If you went to this random room and they brought 2 people and they said, This doctor has experience, but he's never been to a medical school and has no certification. And then we have this doctor who has been to school and has a certification. Who would you allow to insert a cannula in you and do stuff? Just like
Of course.
basic risk management. People go for people who have been certified, because we live in a world of structure and systems. So for me, getting a PMP, like he said, does not ultimately get you to be a project manager. You become better along the way, but it's a great start because you are a certified project manager and you have credibility, and people can actually trust you to handle their projects than a random person who just comes. So yeah, be proud of the PMP.
Thank you. All right, let's take the
Yeah.
questions, Isidore.
Okay, maybe before the question, sorry,
Yeah.
Alexi, I want to say something to Billy. What we are trying, the picture that we are trying to show today is the Africa we want. Yeah, like you say about diversity, inclusion. You speak English, we speak French. You know. But I hope that at the end, before the end of this session, you should say some words in French.
In French, yeah, of course.
Yeah.
Très bien, très bien.
Of course.
Okay. Let's just go to the question. Sorry. Okay. We have many questions. Okay. Maybe we can start with Mubanga Mutale. Okay. He wants to know. Question. In an environment that is heavily dependent on titles and rankings, it's who is saying rather than what's being said. What's the practical wisdom to still influence positive change in such an environment without a title?
Wanga is asking very tough questions. It wasn't part of the script, but maybe
I agree.
if I may jump in there, we live in a world of systems. Like I said before, we live in a world of structure, and it's very difficult to change the way things have been done because there are norms. There's a way in which things are done. And when you join particular organizations or communities, they expect you to follow the norms. They expect you to follow the processes that have been laid down. Now, if you do not have a title and you want to be part of influencing change in an organization or in a community, what I always advise is, when you have a candlelight, it doesn't matter where it is positioned. For as long as the room is dark, people will notice it, right? Because it will illuminate some kind of light. And that's exactly your role if you understand your purpose. So forget about the external factors. What is your passion? What is it that God brought you on this earth to do? Because purpose is larger than anything else. So when you focus on your passion, the thing that you love to do, and then you work on your profession, the things that you do better without a title, you cultivate that stuff. And then you pick what the mission is, whether it's in an organization or in the community. When you attach these three things, someone is going to notice to say, Mupanga is doing something different here. Who are you? They'll ask you for a question. They'll ask you that question. Who are you? It's like a tree, right? A fruit tree, say mango tree, focuses on nurturing itself. So you fertilize it, you water it, and it bears very good fruit. A mango tree never takes itself to the market to say, I'm selling mango. People notice the fruit and they come and ask, how much is this mango? And then you tell them the price and sell. It's exactly what it is to be a leader without a title. Focus on nurturing yourself, focus on building your profession, focus on impact, and people will ask you, how much do you need for us to pay you to come and run a transformational program? And that will be, it doesn't matter how political the environment is, everyone is driving towards a common goal. Are you that person who's going to say, If I was a manager, I would have done this. Then you're the wrong person to actually become a manager. Do it before you become, because leadership is not a position, but a disposition. So what is your disposition without a title? And people will elevate you when they see you demonstrate that.
Wow. Wow.
Wow. The next question. I hope that Mubanga is okay for you. We follow the next question. We have Dimitri. Okay, Dimitri Tinku. That's in French. Ok. Donc, en tant que leader sans titre, comment montrer l'exemple sans avoir la tête dans le guidon? Like a leader without a title, how to show the example in English. Hey, Alexi, happy year. Alexi,
So,
come help me here.
if Billy has to speak in French, then you have to take this in English.
Yes, Billy can try to speak in French now.
So, like as a leader without a title, how can you show example without steering the wheel?
Yeah.
Comme c'est en français, c'est à moi que c'est destiné.
Yeah,
Mais elle a
yeah. Go
choisi.
ahead, Yvonne.
Ok. Je pense qu'il faut rester soi-même. Il faut rester soi-même. Et je reviens sur ce que Billy a dit, apprendre à connaître chaque membre de son équipe. Si celui-ci est marié, s'il est jeune marié, s'il a un jeune enfant, s'il est divorcé, s'il est plus âgé que moi, l'approche ne sera jamais la même en termes de gestion de l'équipe. Pour éviter d'avoir la tête dans le guidon, je pense qu'il faut créer des activités en dehors du projet pour fédérer les membres de l'équipe. Moi, en général, j'organise des after-work. Là-bas, les masques tombent forcément. Je ne connais pas un membre d'une équipe qui, au cours d'un after-work, a continué à montrer de la résistance. Et là-bas, on peut répartir une fois de plus les tâches, même si la répartition n'a rien à voir avec celle qui avait été définie initialement. En tant que leader, on s'appuie sur certains membres de l'équipe à qui on peut déléguer certaines tâches. Il y en a qu'on va forcément conduire soi-même jusqu'au terme, parce qu'elles sont peut-être critiques ou parce qu'on a plus de compétences que les membres de l'équipe. Mais il y a, au cours des after-work, par exemple, on peut déterminer des membres de l'équipe sur qui on s'appuie. Et celles-là vont être celles sur lesquelles elles vont superviser les autres et ainsi de suite. Du moins, on va cascader les responsabilités au niveau de chaque membre de l'équipe. Je pense, en gros, c'est comme ça que moi, je fonctionne et jusqu'à présent, ça marche. Donc, en résumé, organiser des activités en dehors du travail. Enfin, on retombe toujours dans l'intelligence émotionnelle, dans l'empathie, dans les activités qui fédèrent l'équipe. Et ça découle de ce qu'on a l'obligation en tant que leader de connaître chaque membre de son équipe, de faire un peu du profiling au démarrage du projet. J'espère avoir répondu à la question.
Dimitri, ça va? J'espère que ça va. Pour cette édition exceptionnelle, on va permettre aux participants d'entrer en studio. So we will let some of our participants to get in the studio to ask their question. So we have Greg Avom that we will let in the studio to ask. Hello, Greg. Hello, Greg.
Hello, can you hear me?
Perfectly. Thank
Oh,
you. Thank
okay.
you to be here. Can you
Yes.
turn on your camera, please, if it's possible?
Uh, Let me do that. We are all struggling with our bandwidth. Um,
Billy, I don't know if you know that
okay.
you have that challenge, but here we are trying our best. We are struggling.
Okay. So, okay. First thing first, it has been, I mean, the session was great. I'm a nature professional by nature, but I've been developing a lot of interest for project management in the last year, and I did see a PM. Actually, I'm still considering getting PMP, but honestly, the session was great. A lot of things that actually create the bridge between my natural area of comfort, HR, and PMP when you are talking about emotional intelligence and everything. Actually, I came in the studio. There was a question from another attendant, and actually, I was trying to reply to its question when I got into the studio. I didn't have a particular question to the for the panel members, but honestly, thanks for that time. The contribution were excellent. I mean, a lot of learnings. That's really what I can share with you. Thanks.
Okay,
Thank
stay
you.
there. Let me take this question. I think it's a question from Quentin. Uh,
That
uh,
was the question, actually. I was answering to the question of
yeah.
content.
Okay, that's the question. Okay, so we discuss. We follow this question. So Quentin is asking.
Okay.
A senior leader in your organization does not recognize your contribution because you don't hold a management title. How would you gain their trust and showcase your leadership potential? That's the question.
That was the question.
Yeah.
Okay, so maybe I saw it as an HR person. I will probably give the floor to you as project management. But what I was telling to Quentin is that normally when you have the proper environment, that decision or that recognition or that reward or anything related should not depend on one single person, be it the most senior person in the organization. Normally, there should be like frameworks, strong processes that will drive that decision and actually identify the roles, the responsibility, the contributions of everybody so that at the end the decision is like obvious because a system is already built actually to identify who has done what and make the final decision. But maybe that's a very HR perspective. So I'm leaving the floor to the fellow PMPs to also share the views on that.
May I quickly weigh in? Is that fine?
Yes. Yeah,
Yes.
sure.
I see in the question there's words that I've highlighted very quickly. There's trust and then there's potential. So when you look at Quentin's question, he's in a situation where he wants to build trust in front of his senior manager, right? And one thing I'll tell you is number one, trust will not be built in one night or in 24 hours. It's a journey. Number two, every speaking opportunity is an audition for leadership. When you are in the presence of his senior manager, how do you show up in team? So that
Mm,
continuous audition for him to actually build that trust. So are you hiding behind and just sending reports to him, or you are actually having conversations with him or her? And whenever you're given an opportunity on the stage, you are shooting the lights out because you may just get one opportunity and you need to show up. That's why credibility and competence is very important. Finally, around the potential, I like that you've said potential because you then acknowledge that there's continuous improvement that is about to happen from your side. So How do you do this? I want to give you homework to go and try the empathy model. When you look at your leader, you know about yourself as a PMP, as a project manager. Do you know anything about your senior? What are they scared of in their job or in their role? What is their KPI? What is their scorecard in their role? And then what are the gains? What are these things that actually excites them? And when you land them, they'll be like, this is awesome. Then understand their language. So you begin to get the insight from there, map it down, have a conversation with them, listen more. And as you approach them in meetings, you begin to speak their language. If they're interested in driving sales, you talk into how this project is going to drive sales in their department. They'll be like, that's my man. You get it. So it's a continuous process and you have to work for it. It won't just be given to you because you have a title. You have to prove it for you to build that trust. But then you have to understand their fears also and their gains. So it's empathy. Empathy is both ways. You have to be empathetic towards your leaders as well.
Yeah.
I hope it's okay for to contact. Thank you, Billy. I think it's very clear for me too. Okay, thank you for that. Greg, thank you. You want to know from which country are you from?
Me, Greg. I'm from Cameroon.
Yeah. From
I'm
Cameroon.
from Cameroon.
Okay. Yeah, your English is okay. Your English is perfect. Yeah, thank you. So we will let you out from our studio. Okay, to give the possibility to others. Thank you. The next question that we have come from Evelyne. That's in French. Alors, que faire lorsque vous avez un fort leadership et que les collègues, de manière générale, ne vous écoutent plus, même ceux qui ne sont pas dans votre unité, et que cela crée malaise avec les supérieurs hiérarchiques? Comment s'y prendre?
Wow. J'imagine qu'elle traverse la situation en ce moment. Disons que ceux qui ont fait le leadership ont toujours du mal, n'est-ce pas, avec les collègues et la hiérarchie. C'est une situation qui va toujours exister. Mais c'est à vous de trouver les bonnes façons pour juguler la situation en question. Et il faut maîtriser votre environnement, connaître vos collègues, qu'est-ce que le supérieur aime, qu'est-ce qu'il déteste, quelles sont la même chose pour les collègues des autres unités. Il faut connaître son environnement et ses collègues. Et là, vous trouverez vous-même la solution. Et elle va toujours partir de la gestion des émotions. Est-ce que vous maîtrisez d'abord les vôtres avant d'aller chercher à gérer les leurs? Ça, c'est la question fondamentale qu'il faut toujours se poser. J'ai dit tantôt qu'il n'y a pas de solution miracle. Un leader sans titre ou avec titre, il doit être compétent, il doit être un expert, enfin, il doit être un modèle, tout ce qu'on a cité pendant la session. Mais pour les situations de conflit dépendent beaucoup du contexte et du profil des collègues qui vous entourent. Je ne peux pas dire tout de go que voici la solution. C'est à vous de la trouver en observant votre environnement et vos collègues. J'espère que j'ai répondu à la question. Allô?
Merci beaucoup. Merci beaucoup. We have another question. Oui, allô, Yvonne? Allô, Yvonne? On t'a bien entendu? Je ne sais pas si tu... Ok, magnifique. Merci infiniment. Donc, on espère que Evelyne... Oui, tu voulais ajouter autre chose, Yvonne?
Non. Je pensais que tu avais une autre question pour moi plutôt.
Yeah, you have many questions in the comment. The next question is from Quentin. How do you lead when you are start your first project management role in a foreign country? In this case, you are new in the country and you don't master the culture of the country. What do you do?
That's a good one.
Get to know the culture first. I would say that.
No, true, Yvonne, and you know, it sounds simple and funny,
Yeah.
but that's the most powerful question answer you've given. And I think there was another question asked by Martin around the same area where he was talking about what are the connections between leading without titles and culture, most especially in our African communities. I was just reading
Yes.
that because they correlate. And in normal project management, the biggest thing, like Alexis said, is stakeholder management. Stakeholder management is simply understanding who's got influence over the project and what's their interest on the project. And we know that nice map, if it's high influence, high power, you know they can kill your project. So it's like getting into a community in an African setup where you sideline the chief or the headman or the head woman and you think you are going to build a school. Much as it is nice for the community, the ego of that chief or the headman is going to kill that project. So I think taking time to study culture is very important. And I would advise, if you are going to another country, when you are offered a job, the first thing you do, research about the culture, research about the do's and the don'ts before you go there. Just a quick example, in Africa, there's a very common example that is given around a project that was sinking boreholes in a certain area, because when they went there, every 12 hours, parents were sending their children to go and draw water from the river. And they came up with a big project, and then they went and sunk boreholes there. 1 year later, they found all the boreholes locked. Kids were still going to the river to sink the boreholes. So, and I know this is PG-18. The real reason why they were doing that was they were living in one-roomed houses. And so the only time mommy and daddy had to have fun and to do their stuff was when they sent the kids away to the river. So you now realize that they solved for a wrong problem. The problem was that they needed privacy. So that project would have easily been, let's build 2-bedroom houses or 2-roomed houses to sort out what the issue is. They didn't take time to interact with the community. They didn't ask the right questions. They didn't understand who the stakeholders were in this thing. Just from outside, they thought we are going to do this thing because we've observed. What you usually see on the surface is not what it is. You need to ask the why and the why and the why. And so it's the same with the culture. You get into a new place, don't assume because where you're coming from, things work the way they work. Ask as many questions as you may. And eventually, and it's a journey, right? You begin to learn that here we don't speak looking people in the eyes. You will be sued for sexual harassment, you know, such simple things. They can kick you out. So here, when you're speaking, you look in the middle of there's so many other intricacies that you actually have to learn for you to stay afloat and you know, blend in a culture. So you have to be ready to deal with a culture shock, but be ready to embrace diverse views and also include other people with what they come to the table. Not an easy thing, very difficult, because culture is stronger than death. So you have to be ready for that.
Allô? J'aimerais ajouter quelque chose, si tu permets, Isidore.
Oui, bien sûr, international.
C'est toujours au sujet de la culture. Je me suis rappelé d'un exemple qu'avait pris un des speakers au PMI Africa Conference en 2018. Il prenait un exemple d'un projet qu'il avait monté pour recycler les restes de savon dans les hôtels aux États-Unis. Le projet était bien ficelé. Il a monté toute une usine de récupération, de transformation et d'emballage de ces savons-là. Et c'était destiné à un village en Afrique. Je ne sais plus, je ne me rappelle plus, mais je sais que c'était en Afrique de l'Est. Quand le jour de la livraison arrive, toutes les autorités sont là, lui-même il est là, les cargaisons de savon sont posées, bien emballées, avec tout le tapage médiatique qu'on connaît en Afrique quand on reçoit des dons. Quand il déballe donc les savons en question, ils sont de couleur, je pense, de couleur blanche. Et les bénéficiaires ont refusé de les prendre parce que le blanc pour eux signifiait le deuil. Donc, avant de lancer son projet, il aurait dû s'approprier les do's et les don'ts de la culture. Il devait s'assurer que le blanc ne posera pas de problème aux bénéficiaires final qui est représenté par la communauté du village en question. Donc aujourd'hui, on ne peut plus démarrer un projet au hasard. Il faut connaître la culture, l'environnement dans lequel on va exécuter le projet, s'assurer que le bénéficiaire sera satisfait. Parce qu'aujourd'hui, ce n'est plus, on appelle ça quoi? Un projet qui a réussi, ce n'est plus qu'il a été exécuté dans les délais et dans les coûts. Il faut que le bénéficiaire final soit satisfait. Et vous voyez très bien le lien avec la culture. Donc, c'est ce que je voulais ajouter sur cette question-là.
Merci infiniment, Yvonne. Très précieux. C'était un moment où je suis en train de vraiment de picorer. I think before this section, I will be a top leader, an international leader. Yeah. We have, on a Pascal qu'on va faire entrer en studio aussi. Il est quitté finalement. Pascal, tu peux essayer de te connecter de nouveau. Bon, on va poursuivre avec les questions. Donc, pour ceux qui veulent participer directement, vous avez le lien pour entrer en studio, pour rendre plus interactif et plus original. Donc, on a la question de Quentin encore. Oui, Quentin. OK, on va reprendre cette question de Quentin. J'espère que ce n'est pas une... Yeah, it's another question. Yeah. Okay, you are leading a cross-functional team, but you have no formal authority over its members. Some team members are disengaged and do not follow through on their tasks. How do you motivate them and ensure accountability? That's a situation. That's a case.
Yes, je peux répondre avant que
Oui.
Billy ne prenne le relais. Lui, il a plus d'expérience. Je suis qu'il est même né PMP.
Say it in English. Say it in English.
C'est une question situationnelle. Moi, par exemple, j'y fais face depuis au moins une dizaine d'années. Mais ça ne me décourage pas. Comme je disais tantôt, je ne sais plus, c'était à Evelyne, connaître ton environnement, écoute activement, fais le profiling des membres de ton équipe, crée des activités, on va dire quoi, extra-professionnelles pour essayer de fédérer l'équipe autour du projet. Apprendre de manière continue. Si vous n'êtes pas forcément expert, vraiment, il y a une littérature qui est très accessible sur tous les sujets et soyez le modèle. Si on vous voit faire, forcément, les barrières vont tomber et vous allez mieux piloter votre projet. Over to you, Billy.
All right. Thank you so much, Yvonne. For me, 3 things. Number 1, and we need to be very careful here as we speak. It's one thing to lead without a title, and it's very powerful. But we exist in a world of structure also. So what we are not saying with Yvonne is that if you are in an institution where there's structure and you are an appointed project manager, you are appointed and you have that title. And it's one thing to learn how to be an effective leader in bringing teams together, and yet another to say, I'll lead without a title. So first thing that I know is when you are a project manager, there has to be a project charter. What a project charter does is it gives you the authority to manage the resources, including the people on the team. What I do get from this question is a possibility that the managers to those people under them are not aligned to the goal, because projects are not born by themselves in institutions. They are as a result of achieving a strategic goal. So if the strategic goal is to land this project so that we reduce the attrition rate of our customers, everyone at Exco at board should be aligned. And you as a project manager, you have the authority, and you show the authority in the reports that you give that you are lacking behind. If that's not the case, secondly, once you charter a project, it shouldn't only have a project manager, it should have a change manager, but most importantly, it should have a sponsor. Who's the exco or executive sponsor? This sponsor is supposed to help to move mountains for you when you encounter problems. Disengagement, you may want to speak to your sponsor to co-locate the team. Go and have soccer, go and have fun to get to interact with the members, get to know each other before you get into tasks. You'll be amazed at how much output they'll give you when members actually get to know each other and they're talking to each other when you get back into the project itself. So that would be my response to that question for cross-functional challenges. Thanks.
Thank you very much, Billy. We have, I think, is the last contribution or question. We have Pascal in the studio. Hello, Pascal, and welcome. Hello, Pascal. You can turn on your mic.
Yes. Hello, Iso.
Hello,
Yes.
Pascal. We were together yesterday.
Good evening,
Welcome.
everyone.
Hello.
Thank you, Yvonne. Thank you, Yvonne. Yesterday, indeed, we were together for a webinar of PMI Chapter Cameroon. So we spent an amazing time. So thank you one more time for your advices all along the webinars about how to be a volunteer. So to give an advice for this question, everything's really have been already said, but if I can add something is to always identify how can I say it, the phase of the team that you are working on. If you are in formal phases, if you are in storming phases, so it's really important to identify which phase of the project that you are, and looking at you will adapt the solution, to fix the problem. So if I have something to say, just that.
Thank you, Pascal. So it's a contribution to this session.
Thank you so much.
Do you have okay? Thank you. Do you have a question to our international leader that you have today?
My question is, it look like what Alexi already talked about, PNP. Some managers, some CEOs of companies continue to look PNP certification as a kind of gadget. Like it's not something that you must have to manage a project. Yesterday we were also talking about it with Yvonne. So it's quite a challenge, and it's also like the theme of this webinar is leading without a title, but actually we are facing a situation from some CEO that even as a PMP, they are not looking like something that you must have to be a project manager. So my question is, how could we behave, or what could we do to overcome this situation? So that's my question.
Scott, thanks. And do all the best. So congratulations for making sure that he asked the question when he just came to contribute. Hey. All right. So do you know? I think we answered that question earlier on when Alexi posed the question around resistance to change. What we're dealing with, or what you are dealing with that PMP or no PMP, is simply change management. When you look in the mirror and you see a different image, different from what you perceive yourself to look like, you freak out, right? Because you know how you look, and when you go in a mirror and then you look it different, you freak out, and that's exactly what happens in organizations. Organizations have a maturity journey. You need to understand what the maturity journey from a PMO perspective or value management office perspective. Where are you in that matter? Do you have a framework implemented? You see, so now I'll take you back to the awareness. How aware are your senior members in the organization about the PMP and what it brings to the table? And most of you who follow Christianity, you know about those people who are trying to build a castle that was going to go all the way to heaven. You know how they were disrupted? It was language. So they never spoke the same language, and that's how that project was disrupted. And this is exactly what PMP, Prince 2, all these certifications brings to the table. It's just to unify the language. Everyone should understand the language, from the sponsor to the product owner, as well as the people around the institution. And that's why we push these certifications or frameworks, is because we want to have a common language to build the cadency, right? But then most importantly, how do you build the desire in your senior members to understand that it's important for us to have some sort of structure, because we can measure, and what gets measured gets improved upon. So that's the importance of a certification or PMP or any other certification. What knowledge are you sharing? Usually we train people on the ground. There's what is known as executive affluence, and it's very poor across the globe, because we all assume EXCO members, senior members are all knowing, but these people actually spend more time signing things, approving things, and they don't actually do continuous improvement on themselves. Who is running those programs to help them improve themselves so that the knowledge gets high, right? Do they have the ability to help you run that transformation from a project management perspective or PMO perspective? And eventually you're talking about reinforcement, which I talked about. When something works, are you showing that in your board papers or your board reports to say, because of the 3 PMPs that we have in institutions, we were able to land 1, 2, 3, 4 project that was very strategic, and we're able to meet strategic goal number 1 and 2 because we had deficiency from a capacity perspective on the ground. So you are able to outrightly show the value up here with what you're investing in. But I will say that this is a journey, and you really have to be patient and be very clear in measuring the maturity of the project management in your institution. Thank you.
Thank you very much, Billy. Alexis, I think, est-ce qu'on a encore du temps pour prendre une question? Je pense que je te laisse le soin.
So I can give out 30 seconds, just 30 seconds, because we have to, according to management, how to manage our time
Okay. Can you take another question? It's okay. It's okay.
Just one question. Yeah.
One question. Okay. We have the question from Edith. Yeah. Thank you, Pascal. We let you get out the studio. Thank you to join us. Thank you very much. So from Edith, on a cette question. J'ai un sérieux problème avec la communication en public, une barrière que je me suis fixée et que je n'arrive pas à lever. Aspirer au rôle de leader aujourd'hui dans ce contexte me stresse. Comment m'en sortir? Alexis, please help me to ask the question to Billy, please. Billy is a TED speaker.
So Billy, Edith Clara is saying that she has a serious communication, she has a serious issue with speaking in public, which is a barrier she has fixed for herself and that she has difficulty uplifting. So aspiring for a leadership role today in this context is stressful to her. How can she solve this issue?
Yeah. Thank you very much. It's interesting when you look at the Pulse report by PMI that the biggest attributes to project managers who are going to win in the future, even now, are those who enhance their strategic communication. It's not even the hard skills, but what we call the power skills. And so what you do is you're not the only one. So I should tell you that people would rather die than speak in public. There's actually a research on that. Statistics show that people would rather die than speak in public. It's also called glossophobia. So for them to even have a name for it, it means that it's a real phobia which exists. How do you then ameliorate that situation? How do you get better? Public speaking is like swimming. You can read books and books and volumes and listen to TED Talks and listen to great public speakers, but you will never get good at it until you start doing it. Because it's like swimming. You read about swimming until you get in the deep end. That's when you actually face the resistance and you learn how to float. And that's exactly the same with public speaking. My advice to you is find a safe space. If you are in a community or you have a department where you give each other opportunities to speak, but you should not only end at speaking, get an evaluation. So every time you are giving a speech or you are doing a presentation, let someone amongst the audience take some and give you the feedback for you after the presentation. That's continuous improvement. So then you begin to patch up in those areas. Secondly, I don't know if you've heard about Toastmasters. Go and look up Toastmasters. It's a global organization that helps people become better at public speaking and leadership. You may want to join the Toastmasters club near you. It's going to tremendously help you. I joined it some time back and it really helped me because public speaking becomes easier when you practice. It becomes natural when you practice. And when you stop practicing, you lose it because that's just like a muscle that you need to constantly do. So be very intentional about it, face your fears, and do it anyway. That would be my advice. And if you can find me on LinkedIn, please drop me an inbox. I'm happy to guide you and support you on your journey in becoming better at communication. Thanks.
Thank you so much, Billy. I think Edith Clara, just for context, Edith Clara is a colleague of mine. We work at Mavians together. She's brilliant. She's a business process manager for us at Mavians. She's part of the strategic department, strategic project department team. She's exceptional. So I'm just gonna resume or summarize what you said for her in English, in French. Donc, Edith Clara, Billy dit que prendre la parole en public, c'est comme la natation. Hein. Plus tu pratiques, Donc, tu peux lire tous les livres que tu veux sur la natation, écouter toutes les conférences que tu veux. Si tu ne pratiques pas, tu ne mets pas en pratique, ça ne va pas t'aider. Donc, trouve des opportunités où tu devras t'exprimer en public. Et pendant ces opportunités-là, il faut te faire critiquer. Donc, il faut accepter, trouver quelqu'un qui va te donner un feedback cru sur ta prestation en public. Il y a un groupe, il a aussi parlé de Toastmasters. Il y a un groupe qu'on appelle Toastmasters, c'est un club qui enseigne la prise de parole en public. Tu peux aussi rejoindre le groupe de Toastmasters. Et enfin, Billy t'invite à te connecter avec lui sur LinkedIn. Il serait ravi de t'apporter son soutien et son coaching, si je peux dire ça comme ça, pour que tu sois as proficient as he is. So thank you so much, guys. Thank you, Billy. Thank you, Yvonne. This has been an amazing.
Hello. Please.
Yes.
Alexis, sorry for that. The energy that we have today. I just want to Billy and invite Billy and Yvonne to give a closer word.
Closing remark, yeah.
Yes, impactful. We need impact. We need inspiration, and we have inspiration today.
Yep.
Je commence.
Vas-y, Tata Yvonne.
Hey, quand tu mets tata là, ça m'effraie.
International.
International, Tata Yvonne.
Okay. Billy, I wanted to join. Elle s'appelle comment? La dernière là, Evelyne. C'est Evelyne?
C'est Edith Clara.
Edith Clara, to learn to talk to talk in public, because I'm still learning, and I think with you I'll go faster and I'll master speaking in public quickly. Ok. Bon, le mot de fin, il est simple, hein. Je dirais que le leadership sans autorité, c'est un titre comme Parlons Projet intitulé aujourd'hui. Il repose sur la capacité à influencer, à motiver et inspirer les autres en utilisant des compétences interpersonnelles, la crédibilité et la confiance. Un leader informel guide par l'exemple et crée des connexions authentiques pour atteindre des objectifs communs. Pour la petite histoire, en lisant des cours sur le leadership, il y avait cet exemple du général Colin Powell, qui, vous le savez, était un grand général de l'armée américaine. Il disait ceci: lorsque vos collaborateurs cessent de venir vous poser leurs problèmes, vous cessez d'être un leader. So, guys, use emotional intelligence to lead, not tools, because at the end of the day, it's all about people management. Thank you.
Thank you.
Thank you. How do I end this? Leadership does not just make a difference. Leadership is the difference by itself. And why should we worry, or why should we be concerned about growing leaders? It's because anyone from anywhere, from any organization wanting to exert positive impact is a leader without any title. And I want to leave you with James Clear's writing from Atomic Habits, where he says, we do not rise to the level of our goals. We fall to the level of our systems. What systems have you put in place as a person wanting to develop as a leader? If you do not have these atomic habits that you do on a single day, you will not improve as a leader. We're now migrating from return on investment to investing in relationships, because people go where they feel welcomed, and they stay where they feel connected? Do you want your members to stay where you are as a leader? Cultivate those relationships. Focus on the outcomes. Be very clear as a leader where you are taking the people. With a clear vision, there has to be clarity as you cultivate trust and transparency. The third leg, which is continuous improvement. Always remember to show up 1% better the following day than you did before. And always measure your performance on a daily basis. How did I perform today? Did I do anything different from what I did yesterday? And you will be a better leader, you will be a better person. Feel the fear and do it. Thank you so much for having me.
Merci, merci, merci infiniment, Billy. Un mot en français, Billy.
Yes.
Oui,
Un mot.
oui,
Eh ben,
oui.
ok, merci, merci infiniment à tous ceux qui sont connectés, qui ont vécu cette belle expérience. En tout cas, moi, je me suis senti emporté par l'énergie. I really appreciate the energy that we make today. Thank you very much, Billy, for your availability. Thank you, Yvonne, Alexis. Thank you for all. Okay.
Thank you, team.
Thank
Thank
you.
you.
Merci,
Thank you.
merci, 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 merci.
Merci
Okay.
beaucoup, tout le monde.
Thank you.
Yeah. Leadership is not
Merci.
just a
Thank you.
different.
The difference.
Leadership
This
is
the
not
difference.
the different. Leadership is the difference. That's right,
Yeah.
Billy.
Leadership is not just about making a difference.
The difference.
It is the
Okay.
difference in itself.
Mm.
That's the sentence. Thank you. Okay. Thank you.
Thank you.
Thank you.
Thank you. Bye
Hi,
bye.
everyone. My friend. It was great meeting
Bye.
you.
Bye bye.
Bye.
Bye.